Alright, just thought I'd do a quick update on the DRZ. Doing a little more maintenance on it because I was concerned with some of the other things I found. So I'm doing an oil change, spark plug, and I was just checking the filter in the frame. It looks really good. So I have the cams pulled out. Those are the cam caps, 2 cams. That's the intake, that's the exhaust. And then one of the shims, the right exhaust valve, was a little bit out of spec. Not much, but just a little bit. So I'm going to fix that and make some other adjustments while I'm in there. This bike has 11,000 miles on it. I think it's not quite due to check the valves yet, but mine's, I don't know, just given the state of some other things, I thought I'd check them. I did get a carb rebuild kit, also pulled the carb back off the bike. I want to make sure that it's not leaking gas. The float looks like it's at a good level, but I want to make sure that the little needle in there that goes on the float is sealing properly, so I have a new one of those coming. Those are kind of some common things with this bike, and I just want to head them off. Just one tip is keep all your dirt and dust out of there, of course, but also protect anywhere that you don't want parts falling down in the engine. Alright, so only one of my valves was out of spec. The gap for the valve clearance on the exhaust side is 0.2 to 0.3 millimeters. Intake side is 0.1 to 0.2. So I measured all my valve clearances, and the only one that was out, exhaust side on the right, was 0.18. It should be between 0.2 and 0.3. So it needs 0.02 added to the clearance, which means it needs a thinner shim. While I'm at it, I'm also going to change the shims in these other two to get them more in the middle of the range. I need to measure the shims that were already in there. Subtract 0.1 from the shim. That will add 0.1 to the clearance. So the existing clearance of 0.18 should go up to 0.28. So my intention is to add a 3 millimeter shim instead of a 3.1 millimeter shim on the right exhaust valve. And then it's just a matter of repeating the process for the other couple valves that I have. Just a cheapo shim kit, 500th increments. So this is the 3 millimeter shim. I'll use that in place of the 3.1, and the shims just go on the back side of the valve. They sit right in there. Time to tighten down these caps very gently. I have these snug down now, so using my feeler gauges again, I got my 0.2 and my 0.3. I should be able to get my 0.2 in both the exhaust valves, and I should not be able to get the 0.3 in. Cannot. I would say they're probably like a little bit under 0.28 clearance on the exhaust side. When I did my valve adjustment, my timing, I put my chain back on 1 tooth off. So there's supposed to be 15 pins on the chain between the numbers, and I was 1 off. And that didn't hurt anything, but made it not run. So tore it back apart and made that adjustment on the cam. It's pretty easy to just make sure you count those pins. 15 pins between the two vertical marks on the cam gears. Time for a test ride after adjusting the valves. Seems like it's running good. A couple other minor mods that I did. I added a charger cable to the battery, and I put on a 5-volt phone charger cable, and that's on a switch. was able to wring it out a little bit. Feels good. When you get a couple miles on, make sure they're going to be good for the trip. I'm thinking about the 3.9 gallon tank. Time to get a bigger tank, I think. I want to keep this bike for a while. A few more goodies for the DRZ. Cheapy case savers from Amazon. Good idea to run these. They're only 10 or 20 bucks. But idea is you put these pieces of metal over top your side of your cases, and then your shifter will not go through the side. You'll have a little bit of extra protection. It's nice to have a windshield, especially for highway riding, get a little more wind off of you. So I got this 12 by 18 polycarbonate sheet from Amazon. It was only $10 for this. And I'm going to put it on the headlight cowl here and put a little bit of curve to it. And then I also want it to curve back a little bit like so and round the corners. My homemade plexi windshield it didn't meet my quality standards that I tried one more time. So what I ended up doing was buying this $58 one from Amazon. Comes with some mounting hardware too. There's how it's going to fit on the bike, the windshield, and look what we have here. New Clarke fuel tank. We'll work on getting this guy installed. 3.9 gallons. More smiles and miles in between fill-ups. Alright, we got the windshield back on here mounted, and gas tank is ready to go. So one more thing, I did about a 75-mile ride, and the battery, well, the display started flickering, so I knew something was up with the battery. Got the voltmeter out, and I did some testing on the stator, and the stator is not testing out correctly, so I'm going to put a new stator on. And given how the other parts of the bike weren't really maintained that well, I'm going to just go out on a limb and say it's probably definitely the stator. So while we have this open, we'll Loctite these bolts. Well, take one out and see if it's Loctited. If not, we'll Loctite them. Alright, safe to say that didn't have any Loctite on it. Well, nothing jumps out right away looking at it. But they all three legs of the stator did test bad. Some blue Loctite on there. Now we'll just repeat the Loctite process with the other 5 bolts, and then that bottom Loctite will be done. When I put the new stator in, I will blue Loctite these 3 bolts also. Not good seeing a bike like this like 5 days before my trip, but the Ricky stator in the mail, so here's what it looks like. And comes with the new pickup.
Sunrise on gravel, we roll out so bright. Pack up the camp as we chase the light. Cast down the line where the river flows kite. Under the stars we keep pedaling right. Moving with Mike where the campfire glows. Trails through the pines where the wild wind blows. Hit subscribe, come join the team. Adventures calling here wild streams. Every mile is a story so free. Ride with us through memory. Dust on the tiles, but the view stay clear. Fish fight at dawn when the sky sincere. Lights echo out as the day disappears.
The same test with the same plug off the new stator. Check all 3 pins. All 3 test good, no continuity. That's what you want. There's the company of the stator. That was 175 bucks. Seems to work. So that was a good fix. None of the bolts were Loctited, so that's a common thing that everybody takes that apart and does anyway. So now I can have some peace of mind with that too. Alright, I put a new coolant expansion tank on here. The other one was cracked. It's plugged from the rectifier. Got that guy off. It has some wire soldered on there. It's a good gauge of wire. Okay, so that was a nice improvement. Yesterday, before I did the free power mod, got only 13.5 max, and now we're up to like 14.3. There we go. Mike's Z dualsport. A little bit of customization and gotta, spruce up the plastic tank just a little bit. Okay, hopefully we're done fooling around with this for now. Got a couple mods and a couple things fixed. And hopefully we're just in good riding shape. Now we're going for reliability.